Coming to you live from Darshan Studios, it's Zinc Comics Exposition. Hey, let's put on a show. Good evening. I'm Brian Payne, and tonight we got next. Homer, Alaska has been called the Cosmic Hamlet for as long as we can remember, which is why I used it for the title of my comic strip. In addition, longtime friend of the show, Eli Schwab, is known to us as the Cosmic Lion himself. Our guest today is yet another cosmic cat who has been thoroughly vetted and approved by the Cosmic Code Authority, I must add. Cats and kittens, allow me to introduce the technician to whom I owe a cool million, the power after Perez, Mr. Rick Lopez.
Thank you so much, Brian.
Welcome to the show, Rick. Now, your name has come up in every episode, so I'm really glad that we've finally got you on, being one of the founders of the NPP Next Panel Press, and we will get back to that. But I always like to start off with how we met, and as usual, with most of the people in this group that we got together, I met the ones I know best doing the thology. With Eli's thology, which again, we talk about this every episode because that's my connection, my main connection to all these people. And the thology, Eli Schwab gets together a group of people online, drawing in real time, as Rick is right now. And we talk and produce a zine each month, 3 hours a month while working together. And I remember seeing Rick up in the corner doing much like he is now in some of those early sessions. But my main memory of you was one time, I'm, as everyone knows, I'm Brian Analog and non too tech savvy. And one of the first, whenever I got in a show and tell mode and I wanted to show off what I had drawn that night, and I asked Eli to make me big. And I remember hearing Rick Lopez quip, "I want to be big." And this has become my mantra now. It's my daily affirmation. I look in the mirror and I say, I want to be big. So I want to thank you for that, Rick.
That's hilarious, dude.
Okay. So the thology was the main introduction, and I'll always remember that, and I do not kid. Just like I used to write "Do not bend" on my packages that I would send out, that became kind of a mantra: do not bend. And now it's do not bend. I want to be big. But anyway, the next time I noticed your work was when you started doing the power. Now I know you have a lot to do with the group projects and stuff, but as I noticed you doing the power. And someone remarked that it was very Dicko-esque. And I said, I concur. And after that, you were on my radar. I was like, okay, Dicko-esque, that's, right up my alley and where I live. So I started watching what you were doing much more closely after that drawing. After that post, I don't know exactly when that was, but it was online sometime. And anyway, with that, why don't you tell us a bit about the power?
Oh man. So thank you. First off, thank you for all the stuff you said, Brian. That was super kind of you, and that was like the greatest intro of all time. So the power is a 4-issue miniseries about a boy creating a comic, only to discover a realm beyond space and time within his own mind. So it's It's that ethereal plane you kind of go to while you're working on your creation, whatever it is, like everything else seems to kind of melt away and you're in somewhere else altogether. And
Yeah.
it's really about that whole process as a whole. A lot of meta, a lot of like fourth wall breaking, trying to like use all the different things that you can do with a comic, stuff you can't do in another medium, and like just show like the power of comics.
That's great. Unfortunately, I haven't read it yet. All I've seen is your process stuff that you do online and share online. But I've noticed, you posted enough that I can get a general gist of the story, and everyone talks about your compositions and stuff. But what I really like is this. The style that you have in both the power and your NPP strip. And I can't quite put my finger on it, but there's a sparseness to it that's really beautiful. I don't know if that makes any sense at all. But there's this like a line quality that uh, something between the black and white and the negative space. I think it's your use of negative space that I really like. So another thing, I don't blow smoke, brother. This is from the heart. Uh, of all the cats that I know from the Thology, I always say you're the one I'm impressed with most, but that's probably because I understand the way you're doing it more than I do some of the others. You seem to use old school methods. Talk about your methods,
Okay, so
tools, and such.
I mean, like with Cosmic Cat specifically, like every other week, I end up doing because things mirrored, so I'm like missing track of where I'm going.
Right,
I do
it's
these
like
I do
reading
these
manga.
Yeah, I'm doing these thumbnails on these little pieces of Bristol, and then I scan those in on my tablet and I put them onto a template that I built on Procreate, and then I print those out. Where am I at? Print those out, and then I put like the final pencils over that, and then this is my light pad, and then I'll just like slap another piece over it and I'll ink it that way. Like
Wow.
that's the big way I do it, and then I already like my template has all the panels, but it also has the letters. So it's like if I mess up what I'm writing, I can erase it and then not have to worry about the letters, which is really helpful, or at least
Right.
with the lines, at least.
I can see that. That's why you're showing that. You can put it down. I mean, that's like a quite a tablet you got there. But one other thing I want to mention is your hand lettering. That's another thing I noticed online that you hand letter your pages. Do you do that right there? Correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. What tool do you use for your lettering?
I mean, the main one is the Ames lettering guide. Like
You went
that's
right where I wanted you to go. The Ames lettering guide. We just love that thing. And I used to
yeah.
think, being from Iowa, that it had something to do with Ames, Iowa. And it may, but I don't know that. It may be a guy named Ames. So if anybody knows, let us know. Because these are the things that keep me up at night. But again, back to your process. You're doing the power, which is what, a 4-issue miniseries, and you got 2 done out already.
I got 2 done, and I have the third one on the way. Let me show you a page from that one. I have a pretty good chunk of this ready, almost just about ready to start coloring it. I should have got some of this stuff more prepared, but
So
there's one for
nice.
you.
and and,
It's got a
and
little bit of
everybody,
everything.
you can see what I was talking about with his great compositions that everyone, including me, are impressed by. But if you notice, look at that use of black and white and negative space. You know, that's true cartooning. That's beautiful stuff.
I
Anyway,
appreciate that, dude.
so again, we're back to hand lettering, and I want to go off again on another one of our encounters. When I first joined the NPP, you actually gave me a call. Of all the people I've met on here that I'm interviewing, I don't consider it interviewing, but having talks with this season, Rick is the only one who I've ever spoken to on the phone, and he gave me a phone call trying to work an old man through some technical stuff with scanning in relation to my joining the Next Panel Press. And you know, he soon realized it was like teaching his grandmother how to set the clock on his on the VCR, and but we worked around it, and I found a way to work it in and be part of this syndicate of ours. So what are you drawing right now there, Rick?
I'm working on Cosmic Cat number 33. So I'm trying to get that, because we have me, Eli Schwab, and Adam Lemna, 2 other members of Next Panel Press. We're all going to be at a Collector's Paradise in California, and we're going to do like a book signing, sell it, like get our books ready and everything. But that's on Saturday. And then that night we have a symposium too, and we're going to talk to Rocco and a bunch of people, Rocco Jerome. And we're going to talk to a bunch of people from Ghost Agents. So I'm trying to get a lot of this done so I can make sure that I'm not like stressing about it come Saturday night, trying to make sure it's done.
So you can enjoy the festivities.
Yeah.
Tell us,
so
since you brought up Rocco Jerome and the Ghost Agents, we talked about them briefly with Eli as well. But you know, you got a lot of people talking about your Seraphim pinup. So tell us about Ghost Agents and working with Rocco and what that's all about.
Rocco, I mean, I've had we first met on Image Grand Design, and like we've been buddies since then. And so Ghost Agents was just a matter of time until I got like the chance to throw some pages in there. And with my pages specifically, in the previous issue, Adam Lemna, he did this story about one of the agents jumping into like this other dimension. And basically Rocco's having like a few of us do pinups of him further going deeper into this dimension. And that's just immediately where my head went. I wanted to do a biblically accurate angel. I've wanted to draw one for a while, and like I thought it was the perfect opportunity. And just seeing, because like David Grom also did one, another member of Next Panel Press, and that like it was just so much fun to like, we're like not showing each other right away, but we're just like both like, oh dude, this is gonna be great. Like I don't know, I like the kind of ethereal work like that, to where we could because he didn't give us any sort of guidelines at all. He's just like, he's fallen through this dimension, you know, like make of it what you will. So he kind of gave me like the perfect playground to do what I wanted and just make sure Ghost Agent was in there.
That's really great. Yeah, I wanted to post that picture, but I'm not technically savvy enough to have multiple images popping up as we talk. But
I got you. I got the original here. It's not. Oh. Or I could bring up both actually, but keep going.
But this, not for the first time did you guys have me hitting Google and find out this biblically accurate angel thing. Now, do you know it from the meme, or did you go straight to the Bible and look up what a seraphim should look like?
When I was going through, like, cause I looked it up online, and as I was looking it up, it was showing like the passage from I believe it's Ezekiel.
Okay, that's what I ended up with, but I ended up with a lot of memes first, and then I ended up going to the source. So I was like, Okay, I have to see where you went. I just love that. And again, I pointed that out to you early on was I like how the black is behind the webbings, and it just creates this sense of dimension that I suppose was your intent.
Thanks, dude. Yeah, here's the
See,
here's the colored version.
as everyone knows, I'm a black and white guy, but who can argue with that? That's just pretty comics, is it not? Again, Ghost Agents. We'll drop a link to that the new Kickstarter below too, as well as a link to all Rick's work, and he's got a shop. You know, he's selling. He's selling the Great Power.
Issue 1, issue 2.
There we go.
Where is it at? I had these Cosmic Cat minis, but I sold out of them. This is just like the cover from it. I sold out of them.
Beautiful.
I'm gonna print some more for. Here's the back cover too, because eventually I'm gonna collect them into a proper like comic. It'll be like probably like 40 pages altogether. So, but I'm gonna print some more for this weekend. So if I don't sell them out on this weekend, I'll have some more in my shop. But at the moment, I'm still sold out of those. But yeah, I have the first 2 issues of the Power right here, and then we're getting close to the 3rd.
Oh, you've already got a proof. Ain't that pretty?
Yeah, I got a cover.
Okay, you got a cover. That's
at the end. Sorry.
Okay. Well, anyway, show us a couple pages, if you would.
Oh, first off, I was gonna say, because at the end of every issue, you get to see the black and white cover for the next one.
Oh, that's great.
So when I work on one of the issues, I already have the cover. That's how I was able to be like, okay, let's color this, and now I have at least like this is what the 3rd one will look like relatively, and then like in comparison, you know, it kind of fits with them all.
The trilogy that will quickly become 4, and then he's going to add a 5th one, just like that Punisher miniseries in the 80s, just to make us all crazy. Okay,
no
hold on a minute,
promise.
Rick. I'll be right back with you. We got to talk next panel press, but we pause for this quick commercial break. News item. You are invited to join us in celebrating 30 years of Zinc Comics. ZN30, from Zinc Alloy to Cosmic Hamlet, from Lost Toys to Midnight Agents. We've been turning pen and ink into Zinc for 30-odd years now. We're back with Rick Lopez. Okay, now I said earlier in the show that your name has come up repeatedly because you are one of the 2 founders of Next Panel Press, Craig C.K. being the other. And I've heard Grom is has a hand in it as well, but I wanted to get you all on to talk about it at once. But then I thought I'd rather interrogate you each and see if the stories matched up. But then I realized those cats are smart enough to have their stories all together already. So I figured either way works, but we got you here. So we're going to be talking Next Panel Press. Tell us how that all came about, because every time we try and explain what it is, but you know, only you and Craig really know the truth of it all. So give us the skinny, if you would.
It's really like 8-Ball and Heavy Metals kicked it off in my head, because I'm like, we need to have anthologies. Like, what we need to all have a neat stuff. We need to have a hate. We need to have 8-Ball. Like we'll bring a whole new. Maybe it was some sort of like, not necessarily ego, but like delusions of grandeur. And I'm like, if like we got to bring back that anthology, like not like if they don't exist already, but you know, something to that extent. And
I totally let me just insert right here real quick. I agree with that totally. I mean, anthologies, are known to die a quick death, and I think part of that is because they don't have one sense of identity. Two anthologies that I've always liked explicitly is Zap Comics. I mean, they had that core group that you knew, each week or each issue, it was going to be those guys. You kind of knew the gang. And the same thing with Wasteland from DC. There was a rotating group of artists, but it was always the same group. So you kind of you didn't know, you knew what you were getting. It wasn't like, oh, a couple good stories and a few other guys. It was always going to be this gang. Anyway, I just wanted to point that out because I agree that anthologies, although, people have always said they don't sell, but I think they can. And you just pointed out several that do. Several were one-man anthologies, but least us forget Zap, Wasteland, Weirdo, Centrifugal Bubble Puppy, just for another. But yeah, so continue. So you were saying that heavy metal and 8-Ball got it going in your head. But what was the discussion between you and Craig? Just that, and that you could do it on digital?
I think it just evolved. I don't see that's a little hard to say specifically what had happened, but it just from there it evolved into like let's do strips and we'll all put them together. And it was me, Craig, and a third party that I don't want to name because I don't want them to like feel bad about it or anything. But like they weren't able to like make it happen. And like there is a strip. I think I ended up using it for Ring Cytology one time, but there was a strip that like I had this whole idea for, and the other person didn't deliver, and then me and Craig kept waiting around and nothing happened. And so from there, eventually Grom got involved and we're like, let's do this thing. And then Grom was definitely involved in when we were trying to think of a name because we were coming up with all sorts of bullshit. I think one of them even was bullshit. We're like bullshit comics.
Well, I
wall.
would still be a contributor, and maybe that would be more apt. But I'm glad someone went with Next Panel Press. I think that works, especially since our presence at this point is mainly on Instagram. It really works. Now, because you know the fellows in this conspiracy better than I. This is, again, some of Rick's artwork. That is his character, Cosmic Cat. And okay, we're going to go through your group portrait. Can you name off the people responsible for each character and what that character is? Can you see this well enough? Or okay, we got right off the bat Kirby and Bot. Craig CK, correct?
Right, yeah.
Okay. That guy in the middle there, that's Cosmic Cat himself.
That's Cosmic Cat, yeah.
Speaking of Cosmic Cats, Rick Lopez. And then now over next to Cosmic Cat, who is that on the far side there?
That's Rex from Rex and Tex by David Grom.
Okay, there we go. Now, some of I remember the people who use their real names, but when people have like these CV handles, I start getting confused. But I've just found out that Burgess and, so I'm like, okay, I think I got it. But I get two guys confused all the time, and I'm sorry for that, but I do. Just behind Rex, we got One Stone with from Jerome Cabanatan. Okay, next to Jerome's One Stone, who do we got there?
That's shit, I forgot her name. She's from Terror in the Shadows though. Terror in the Shallow from Jeff Manley.
Jeff Manley, okay.
I forgot her name was though.
Then we got Evil Santa Claus, miles north. And up there above, we got, who's that?
The Mad Jellies from Eli
Mad
Schwab.
Jelly, Eli Schwab. Ryan Tavares. What's the name of his strip?
That's Pico. El
Yeah,
Pico. Yeah, El
El
Pico de
Pico.
Gallo.
And then off to the side here,
That's
your
Relic Hunter from Adam Lemna.
your signing buddy, and that is this Saturday at what store?
We're gonna be at Collector's Paradise in Winnetka, California. I never heard of that place before, so I don't know how I pronounce it.
Welcome to my world. English is a second language to me. I speak baby talk. Goo goo gajoob. But anyway, okay, where were we? We were with Relic Hunter. Okay, the back row is kind of hard for us to see here. I know that's Jesco on the left, correct?
Yeah, that's his Dark God from, I think it was his 18th strip. I forgot which number it was. That 15, excuse me. Yeah, that one's
Jesco
fucking
Morg's
badass.
Black Mustard,
Black
one of my
Mustard.
favorite strips. Even before before I even became a part of it, I was a big supporter of the Next Panel Press because I thought it was a great idea, and it was kind of taking mythology to the next level. And like you said, it's like an old time anthology, and I'm a big proponent of those. So I, but early on, Black Mustard was the strip that I was looking for each week. You know, it took a while for me for the adventures to kind of kick in, but right from the get go, Black Mustard was like one of those strips you'd find in the free papers in the coffee shops, and it was right up my alley and my cup of tea. Okay, next to the Dark God, who is that there?
That's the main character of America from Anthony Max.
Okay, Mr. Max's America. I like his because, like me, he works in panel scope. We
Yeah.
post a single panel, and he's been posting some beautiful work on his own site, and Next Panel Press has been following suit. And they're sticking out is that bunny faced maid, Dr. Ben Anthony, our first and virgin sacrifice on the show this season. And peeking out over the Relic Hunter's head, who is that there?
That's the baby from Rad by Doug Knight, Crosshead
Doug
Comics.
Knight. Rad, yes. Kid Rad and his pop. That strip's really growing on me the more it goes too. You know, these adventure strips, I love them because they build and build. And you know, that one last week particularly, really, I thought was his best yet. So we only are going onward and upward from here. So you got a lot on your plate. Anything else happening with you or that you'd like to promote while you're on the air with us here?
So first off, we have in Saturday, in Winnetka, California, Collector's Paradise, from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Myself, Adam Lemna, Eli Schwab, and Henry Barajas. Though I don't know if those two have met him. I don't believe so, but I have not met him yet. But he will also be there with us, and look forward to meeting him. And that evening, and this is all Pacific Standard Time. And then at that evening, 5 p.m., so if you're Eastern, 8 p.m., we will be doing the symposium with Rocco Jerome, and we're going to be talking to a bunch of the Ghost Agent contributors, and that'll be a lot of fun. And then Sunday will be the latest drop for Next Panel Press, so follow that on Instagram and Facebook, and there's over a dozen artists. You can catch up with all of our stories in the story highlights on our Instagram page. So like, even if you see the like One Stone's on 15, you can go to the highlights and you can read through it, and you can read the first 14 and then read the newest one. and I try to make sure that all the stories are up to date so you can read them all the way through. Um, from there, I mean, I'm working on Cosmic Cat, so Cosmic Cat 33, which is crazy to think about. Cosmic Cat 33 will be out on Sunday morning, and then from there, I'm just like because since that's the thing with Next Panel Press, just for other people who don't know about it, it's a everyone has a bi-weekly strip, but every week every weekend on Sunday there are new updates for the whole group, and then every day I post the strips as well. So you're constantly fed with free comics, like over 200 like pages worth of comics for free on there. All you gotta do is go through the story highlights, and then like I was showing earlier, I'm trying to get through issue 3 of the Power. So about every other week or so, I'm working on the Power. So it is going a little bit slower because of the stuff with Next Panel Press, but I get 2 books, so it'll be okay.
That was my
yeah,
question. How do you keep 2 balls in the air at one time? That's become increasingly difficult the older I have gotten. And that's one of the reasons I'm trying to record a bunch of shows in a row. So by the end of the month, I can clean the mics out of the studio and get back to inking again. I just finished my own biblical epic on Instagram. And so I'm ready to start doing other stuff. It's funny though, I draw Jesus as a basilisk and you draw a biblically accurate seraphim, this is the difference between us. And that's the range of scope you will find on Next Panel Press each Sunday. And again, at Next Panel Press on Instagram, on Facebook. And again, how do you keep, I want to get back to that before we let you go here, Rick. How do you keep 2 balls in the air at one time? Do you find it difficult? Is the style the same in both your works? Do you have to draw with your one hand tied behind your back on one of them, or how do you do it?
For me, like the deadline, that's like me and Jerome Cabanatan talk about that a lot, but like the deadline is this, I don't know, it's just this driving force that I never want to like lose to. And so like if I turn in like I'll turn in my Cosmic Cat that Sunday. So the next day, Monday, that Monday till the next Sunday, I can work on the Power. And then come the new Monday before Cosmic Cat's due, I stop everything and I work on Cosmic Cat.
So you're almost doing it bi-weekly. That's right.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's
I work
cool.
on
I
each
got
one
you.
bi-weekly.
Yeah, I kind of miss that with you guys though, because of my technical deficiencies, I'm doing this. I developed Panoscope, Payne's Panoscope, not to be confused with Rick Vetch's Panovision. But anyway, so I'm only posting one panel at a time. And in effect, I basically drew 9 3-panel strips, but that turned into a year's worth of panels on a bi-weekly basis. So I'm good till 2023. But in our group chats, I see you guys like working on stuff for the next week. And it goes to what you and Jerome are talking about. I kind of miss that spontaneity, that energy that is created from the deadline doom, not to be confused with At Doom Days, Rick Lopez. But anyway, so then, I really, I like almost am living vicariously through you cats, watching you guys. Oh, here's my page for this week. Here's my page for this week. And I'm like, well, I might get back to it in October, so it's a different thing for me with Next Panel Press. And I know exactly what you're talking about that deadline doom. And I think that's what made newspaper strips and even comic books, the monthly issues, so great, is that they had to, you ain't got time to be precious. You gotta, you have to make a decision, and you can't sit there and think about it too long. And you have to trust that, you know, your own instinct, first thought is the best thought. And so, you know, there's something to that that I'm missing with Next Panel Press. And I might just wait until, you know, the last minute so I can get some of that with next year, you know?
No, totally. The man, that deadline, it's so helpful and so it can be a son of a bitch. There's so many times where I'm like, because I work on the weekends too, and I'm usually opening. So like, if I'm staying up late, like I'm losing sleep over this shit. But I don't want to fuck it up, and I want to try and kind of like set the example, you know. And I just want to get my shit out, and I want everything to look right. Or
Well,
you know
like
what I
I
mean? Like
said, I enjoy
sorry.
seeing your process work a whole lot. You know, when people work on tablets and stuff, I don't really understand what they're doing, but I see you using tracing paper, Ames guides, ink, you know, and you know, it's nice to see. And you know, like I say, of that group, you know, you and Jerome, I've just seen you guys go from guys I didn't really know drawing in mythology to, you know, real regular killers, Phyllis Dillers. And so it was, it's great to see that happening, you know, tag you're it, you know, I know that, you know, comics is in a good place. For a while, I thought there was like this set of rules that was being instilled even in the alternative crowd and even in the mini comic crowd where there was a sameness. But you guys have proved that, you know, there's all these different voices and that they can sing together, you know, in a pretty good choir if, you know, a couple people, you know, can herd cats. And fortunately, I want to thank you. I do this every week, but I want to thank you for you carry a lot of the load for this in getting us posted online and stuff. You, in addition to all your other plates, you keep our plates spinning, and you know it comes with that little garnish, and it looks good every week. You know, you want to eat it, so I want to appreciate. I want to thank you again, and that's why, in my mind, you will always be the technician. So
Thank you so much, Brian.
again, check out Next Panel Press and Rick Lopez at Doom Days. Both of these are on Instagram. Rick has a Rick Lopez cartoonist page on Facebook. Go to that as well. We'll have links to all this stuff below. I really appreciate you coming by, Rick. It's been a pleasure talking to you. I really wanted to get you on because we mention Rick Lopez every show. This is Rick Lopez. The guy we're talking about, that's him. Okay, guys? Got it? Good. Until next time, think of Zinca, think of Zinca, think of Zinca, think of Zinca.